Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the week 3 edition of the Scoreboard Show. Joe Spear, Scott Burton, Cam Reed here. No Chris Brooks today. He is working. He's being a responsible adult. But we'll be with you for the next hour to recap a really weird week 3. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Doing good. Still in recovery mode.
The drive back Friday night was different.
Yeah, it was. It was something.
Good Lord.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no doubt.
It's one of the scariest drives I've ever had in my life. Just white knuckled all the way home. It was hazards on basically the whole freaking way. It was nuts. So we made it through. We made it to Saturday where we had a lot of area games played. But we'll go ahead and jump right into this thing. Starting things off. Innovation Academy and Narnia. Narnia wins 55-6. Cam, apparently you supposedly were here at this game. Let's give a little recap on this one.
Yeah, good night for the Jackets pretty much all the way around. They wound up having over 300 yards of offense. First time they've done that in a couple years. This game actually broke a 12-game losing streak, which was the longest losing streak in Trousdale County history, even when it was still Hartsville High School back in the 40s and 50s. So huge win for the Yellow Jackets. They needed to be on the right side of this one, and they were able to do so in a very big way.
Yeah, good win for them. Like you said, they kind of in that long losing streak. Long. I can't emphasize enough how long that losing streak was for Narnia. But Innovation Academy drops to 0-3, Trousdale County 1-2. Cam, do you kind of see this maybe being the spark this program's needed to finally get in the win column?
I mean, that's certainly the hope and the goal for sure. Tough matchup next week against Macon County, and then you got a string of 4, 5, 6 games that are winnable games for the Yellow Jackets. They just have to play smart football. They're still a very young football team, inexperienced, and not quite to the talent level where they can afford to make mistakes. So they understand that. They are getting better. It's just going to take time.
All right. The other Thursday night game that we got out to, Cobra Kai, Whites Creek, dominant against Mount Juliet Christian. This is the game Scott was at Thursday night. Your thoughts, Scott?
Well, Whites Creek, their offenses is advertised. Deion Barnes and crew were really on their game, but truthfully, the defense of Whites Creek was really too much for Mount Juliet Christian. Even though early their offense did finally get some momentum throwing the ball, they are a decent passing team, but again, they put pressure on the passing game. They force turnovers. I'm talking about Whites Creek here. They get sacks. This game was 38-7 at the half. Deion Barnes was 8 of 14 for 265 yards and 3 touchdowns. The kid was putting passes right where they needed to be. Jax Covington, 3 catches, 127 yards, and a touchdown. Just too much firepower at Whites Creek against Mount Juliet Christian team that played well at times, but just didn't have enough firepower to compete with Cobra Kai.
Yeah, Chris and I were talking last night. When you look at Whites Creek's schedule, and Cam, this was your under the radar team going into the year. There's not a game where you're like, man, they're going to be the underdog in that game. Especially, we'll get to them later. White House Heritage losing to Richland last night. It's a big loss for White House Heritage, and kind of a Whites Creek maybe sneaky region favorite here. So they're playing well. It's the most wins they've had since 2019. They win next week. It's the most wins they've had, I think, since like 2009. So really impressive start for the Cobras. I know they got off to a hot start last year before White House got to them, and then they kind of fell off after that. I don't really see them falling off that much this year. So we'll get to the next game. This is a game you guys were at Friday night. Backyard brawl, Blackman, Riverdale. Cam?
Yeah, the famous spear spike. This was a fun one. As you'll see here in just a minute, get things started. Javion Elliott finds Brylan Odor. Appears to be in, but they marked him out at the 3-yard line. He definitely was not out at the 3-yard line.
No, he was in.
But Jabari Kemp caps things off on Blackman's drive, 7-0 Blackman, middle of the first quarter. Riverdale would respond. They would drive down, appear to be ready to score. And Davis has different plans for the Blaze as he steps in front. And then I'm not even going to attempt to announce this. Tyler, big long last name, 39 yards out. He's got a cannon of a leg. 10-0 Blaze. Gavin Hampton finds Luke Trich, which takes it way deep into Blackman territory. Blackman's defense was able to hold and force a Miles Weaver 30-yard field goal. 10-3 Blackman, and that's where we stood at. Yes, that is where we stood at halftime. And then a 2-hour delay. After the 2-hour delay, Hampton finds Luke Trich for a touchdown on the opening drive, 10-10. Huge play right here, 3rd and 8. Javion Elliott completes the pass for the first down. And then early in the fourth quarter, Jabari Kemp gets his second touchdown of the night. Blaze leads 17-10. They would force a Riverdale 3-and-out. They would be driving back to put the final nail in the coffin, so to speak. But tipped pass, Aiden Emmons for Riverdale intercepts it and returns it towards midfield. This would give Riverdale one last chance to try to tie things up. 4th and goal here from the 6. Hampton rolls to his right, tends to throw the pass to Jacob Vaughn. Jaden Lark, as you see right there with the punch out. Bang, bang play. If you're a Riverdale fan, he had possession, and if you're a Blackman fan, it was punched out before he had complete possession. Great ball game, 17-10 Blaze, the final score.
I'm going to go out and say this right now. That was an incomplete pass every day of the week. It's not even remotely close, in my opinion. That's a great play. Jaden Lark, just a great – well, if I can ever get this to go away. Great play by him. Backyard brawl goes to Riverdale, and we all got this game wrong.
Yeah, one thing that really kind of stood out you're always aware of Blackman's offense and how good they are and how talented they have been in recent years on offense. But their defense in this game was what really stood out. The defensive line did not give Riverdale much time in the pocket. They forced him to roll out. They harassed the quarterback, Hampton there. And then their defensive backs. Very quick, blanketed receivers, got timely pick. Just really a really strong performance by a Blackman defense that maybe just a little bit underrated.
Yeah, James Stewart may be the most impressive defensive lineman I've seen so far this year. He was in the backfield, as you noticed on the fourth and goal play. They rolled away from him because they just couldn't block him on Friday night. So huge night for the Blackman defense. I thought James Stewart was a man amongst boys. Another name that was all over the place was Jaden Gowan, 22, the linebacker for Blackman. He probably had double-digit tackles all over the place. He absolutely smacked Gavin Hampton on one play, and a lot of the Riverdale fans wanted a helmet-to-helmet flag. Not going to say that it would have been a head-scratcher if they did throw the flag on it, because it was somewhat helmet-to-helmet, but it's football, guys.
Yeah, if you go into our photo gallery on 615preps.com, you can see some of the hits from that game.
Yeah. Unfortunately, some extracurriculars after the game. You never want to see those. Seems like the coaches tried to get it under control pretty early, but again, still nothing you want to see, especially for a team that's on probation right now. Leave it at that. No, you got to be smarter. Well,
I agree. I was in the middle of it. I will say that the coaching staff, for the most part, did a pretty good job of keeping the kids, getting them away from each other and kind of de-escalating the position. The coaches.
It didn't turn into the Oakland game last year.
Correct. And to Scott's point, I think what he's trying to get at, some of the coaches, yes. Some of these big 6A schools have like 35 assistant coaches on the sideline, which is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. And there was a couple of the 35 for both of these teams that were not trying to get the kids separated, that were ready to throw hands right there at the 50-yard line, which cannot happen.
Nope. Gotta be smarter than that. Let's head on. Davidson Academy game called at halftime. The Bears roll 35-0, setting up a massive game next week at home against Good Pasture. We'll get to the Cougars here in a little bit, but really good showing for Davidson Academy. They keep rolling.
Yeah, huge night for Ridge Holman at quarterback, 11 of 18, 232 yards, 4 touchdown passes, 2 of them to Josh Bolden, who had 130 yards receiving. Defense held the Eagles to 54 total yards in this game. So Davidson Academy's defense showing up big.
Yeah, and I think that's a little bit more what you're going to see from Davidson Academy. Of course, Caden Stroud goes to Good Pasture. They get Holman in as a transfer. I think they're going to be a throw-it-around team for the next couple of years.
Watertown, the Fighting Isaac Leadhams with a monster statement, beating DeKalb County 31-0. The Purple Tigers now 1-1 against teams named the Tigers. Really good defensive performance from the town that I know exists because I've been there, unlike another certain place.
Yeah, Watertown finally gets on the winning side here. Garrett Davis, a good night, 156 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, ran for another 55 yards and a touchdown. 2 of those touchdowns, the 2 touchdowns went to Jesse Bratcher. Good performance by the Purple Tigers.
Yeah, and if you don't know the name, Jesse Bratcher is one of the top receivers in the area. Senior receiver for Watertown, had a monster 1,000-yard season last year. Of course, his quarterback transfers to Friendship. But as Scott said, Garrett Davis getting a little bit more comfortable. So this Watertown team is a team that definitely could blossom on the offensive side of the ball.
Good weekend for Isaac. Vandy blows out Virginia Tech. Watertown gets on the board. If you're an Isaac Leadham fan, which there aren't many, it's a good weekend for you. Eagleville rolls past the Tennessee Heat 42-0. Eagleville 2-1 on the year, only lost to PCA, I believe. So, again, one of those teams in that 1A mix where you're trying to figure out who the best teams are. Eagleville solidly in that mix right now.
Yeah, Marshall Fields with a good night, 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing, 1 receiving.
East Robertson blows past Joe Burns 34-3. Casey Young had a pretty big night. Scott.
Oh yeah, in one half, right? This game was called at halftime. So Casey Young, 268. I'm sorry, he was 8 of 9 for 268 and 2 touchdowns. Had a rushing touchdown. Joe's favorite East Robertson Indian, Cade Brooks, 2 catches for 114 yards and a touchdown. Chris Groves had 4 catches and 125. For Joe Burns,
Jake Walker.
Yeah.
Boomstick.
How long was that, Cam?
59-yard field goal.
59-yard field goal for Joe Burns. So, got a good achievement in a game that East Robertson just dominated.
Innsworth gets a bit of a test from Briarcrest Christian. Honestly, I mean, we all had Innsworth winning this one, but to get that test, a little bit shocking.
Yeah, we were actually watching this one on my phone during our 2-hour rain delay. But Innsworth was up 21-7. Just too many mistakes. I think Coach Hasselback would agree with that. And then Briarcrest was able to score with a minute and 50-something seconds left. They actually got the onside kick afterwards. Looked like they could potentially try to tie it up. Innsworth defense stood strong, though, and the Tigers leave Memphis with a 21-14 hard-fought win.
I tell you what, being exposed to Cam watching a game, especially sitting in the cab of Cam's Bronco, it's an experience because Cam will actually yell at his phone.
Wow.
Well, when you're listening to a broadcast and the announcers are this level, and then they have a mic on the referee, and he's this level right here. It's frustrating.
Yeah, that was a little unnerving.
Macaulay rolls past Father Ryan 52-0. Macaulay is really showing that they are one of the best teams in the state. Nobody's shocked by that. Father Ryan's got to figure it out, though. Back-to-back shutout losses in blowout fashion.
Yeah, I mean, of course, they're battling the injury bug to start season. That's never good. Yeah, they got to figure it out. And it's hard to figure stuff out when you're having, to play the murderer's row of what is D2 AAA.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good Pasture, 60-7 win over Moore County. This is reminder, guys. This is a Good Pasture team that did not win a game last year, or they maybe won one. 3-0 to start the year. Caden Stroud's tearing it up. He's found a good home there. Moore County kind of down after they had those really good teams the last couple of years, but Good Pasture Davidson Academy, that's a big one, folks.
They are finding ways to score. Stroud did have a good night, 46 yards rushing on 5 carries and 3 touchdowns. But you can't count out their quarterback, Chase Angel, 17 of 20 for 292 yards, 3 touchdowns. All 3 went to Slim Lavelle, 7 catches, 201 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Good Pasture is scoring points by the bucket. And, they're going to be they look like they're a bit ahead of schedule where we thought they might be this year.
Yep. Gordonsville, another team that's really been impressive and one a lot of us picked against for some reason. I don't know why we all picked against them. 42
because Fayetteville put 48 on Friendship last week, and that tells you what kind of defense that this Gordonsville team has. This one was delayed for a long time, but once it got started, it was all Tigers. Gordonsville is looking the part right now in that region there in 2A.
Yeah,
really good for the Tigers of blue.
It was a tough first quarter, I think, but they Gordonsville blew it open with a 21-point second quarter. Lee Skurlock added a couple of short touchdown runs for the Tigers, but really good result for Gordonsville.
Massive second quarter performances. I think we'll see one here in a little bit, Scott.
Might.
Grace Baptist loses to Providence Christian. The Lions 3-0 on the year. Massive game next week for them against DCA. PCA is looking the part, though, fellas. That offense, you guys saw it firsthand last week. They are explosive.
Yep.
They are. They spread it around to their guys very, very evenly, which makes it harder to defend. If they throw it to one guy 10 times, if you take that guy away that you're going to limit them. But they don't throw the ball to one guy 10 times. That's the problem. They're really efficient offense, and people overlook their defense. They were able to create some turnovers the game we saw them against Cannon, and when they do that, they're going to be extremely hard to beat.
Yeah, Davis Warren had a good game on defense. Cam, glad you brought that up because their defense is not what they're known for. But Davis Warren had 4 tackles, but he had a sack, a fumble recovery, and a defensive touchdown in this game. But offensively, Nate Lamb just continues to get it done. 14 of 19 for 217, 4 touchdowns. And Cam's favorite returner is Aiden Ronner, 4 catches for 90 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and Nate Lamb's just a sophomore, folks, so he's going to be a lot better.
A weird one here. Macon County gets the win over Greenbrier despite the game being called in the first quarter. Weird game. Weird.
Yeah, I think
a game being.
I think this one gets to be ruled. I think this one gets to be ruled a Macon County win because both teams agreed to play on Saturday, and then Greenbrier changed their mind.
Weird. Yeah, this was a 3-minute game. Macon County jumped out to a 7-0 lead in the first 3 minutes, and then the rains came.
Yep. Strange to say the least. Lebanon and McGavick. Just Lebanon pours it on. They put up 27 in the first quarter. No stopping them. The Blue Devils have looked really, really good. They should get a test here coming up, though. They've kind of rolled through these first couple weeks.
Yeah, I think they get Mount Juliet
Austin
this
Harrison.
week. So.
Yes.
Well, yeah, you're right, Joe. The only thing that really stopped Lebanon's offense was Mother Nature. They scored on every possession they had. Game was called in the opening quarter, and Austin Harrison was 5 for 6 for 168 couple scores. Azeta, 87 yards on 5 carries, couple scores. This Lebanon team offensively is really stepping up, and they are sneaky good. Nobody's talking about them, and they find themselves at 3-0, and it's going to be interesting to see how it is when they get into region play.
They get that next week. Oh, well, hold on. We got highlights, folks.
Highlights.
Yeah, trust me, I'm running the show. For everybody watching, the games that were played on Saturday will be covered after we finish the few games that were played on Friday, called on Friday. Simple as that.
And I think maybe the craziest part about the Friday and Saturday games and the games that were, the Macon County game called in the first quarter, you're literally just 15 miles down the road, 15, 20 miles down the road to Portland, and Portland and Springfield got their game in.
Yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely nuts. But hey, Knox Catholic and Lipscomb Academy. Let's get this one going. Knox Catholic opens this thing up. Really tough rushing touchdown there. We had Connor Cornett at this game. He did a pretty good job for us. Unfortunately, I'm going to pause it real quick. This game started off on a rough note, not because of play, not because, Lipscomb struggled. Lipscomb Academy player got hurt and had to be ambulanced off the field, and don't really have an update on how he's doing. Really rough start. You hate to see that. Wishing nothing but the best. But when we get to the game, Knox Catholic just kind of rolling here early on. I mean, they really had no issues against Lipscomb's defense. I don't know why the video is lagging so much. Lipscomb Academy, I don't know why his video is lagging so much.
You have to talk slower.
Yeah. Another rushing touchdown here for the Fighting Irish. Great name, great uniforms. Love everything about them.
Oh, God.
But JC White, it's not JC White. It's Cam. Oh, gosh.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, blown up.
Yeah.
We can kind of talk over these highlights, guys. Lipscomb or Knox Catholic's a team that we said going in the year, this is going to be a team to kind of keep an eye on because of all the weapons they have. Tyreek King, the Tennessee commitment, doing big. This is his touchdown return for 6 here. Cam, you gotta like seeing this.
Yeah, that's speed on top of speed right there.
Yeah, he's elite in every sense of the word. Lipscomb Academy, they get on the board though late. JC White, nice touchdown pass here. Knox Catholic, just way too much though. I'm not a real big fan of celebrating when you're down by a lot personally, but to each their own. Another nice pass here from JC.
Nice.
He's fit in really well with this Lipscomb Academy offense. I think he ended up having a pretty good night overall. Secondary didn't get to him much until right there. That's just a great play by one of the better secondaries in the state. So we'll cut the highlights off there because they keep kind of lagging. But Lipscomb Academy loses Knox Catholic on the road 42-20. Mustangs 0-3 to start the year, but they've played a brutal schedule. They're coming off losses to Ravenwood and Knox Catholic.
When you're playing on the road against a quality opponent like that, you from a coaching standpoint, I'm sure Coach Graham hates to see the slow start on offense. I don't think they scored in the first half. And then the second thing that I saw on the highlights right there, a ton of missed tackles. And that's not always a knock on you. Sometimes they're, the returner or the receiver or running back makes you miss the tackle. There was a lot of missed tackles in that highlight package right there. So a lot of work to do this week for the Mustangs, but encouraging second half from the offense. So the JC White is starting to find some footing there with that Mustang offense.
Sometimes you just have just incredible talent, and some guys are going to be playing on Saturdays, and some guys are going to be running corporations. Just happens.
That's a good way of phrasing it, Scott. One team that's going to have a lot of guys playing on Saturdays in the future. Oakland Rolls, 35-0 win over Smyrna. Game called at halftime due to weather. But back-to-back shutouts right now for the Patriots.
Yeah, Craig Tutt, a couple of touchdowns. Dante Cameron, 1 for 2 for 46 and a touchdown. Ran for another one. Wow, I was giving him way too many yardage, and it was way too late when I was putting that together last night. I can't say how many yards I said he had rushing.
Another shutout win out there. Cannon County rolls past Pickett County 61-0 in the first half. Cannon County saying they could have put up 100 in this game, and looking at the score, they may not be wrong.
Yeah, I'm waiting for.
Go ahead, Scott.
Well, I was just saying I'm waiting on the full stats on this one. I haven't seen stats on this game, but from what I understand, there were a number of defensive and special teams plays in this game. Cannon just absolutely dominating.
Yeah, Pickett County is a program that has bounced back and forth between 8 and 11-man football, but they're back in 11-man for the time being. So hopefully the Bobcats can find some consistency in numbers. That's their big thing out there.
Game I probably should have gone to Friday night. Springfield 27-19 win over Portland. Portland led this game 7-0. Springfield comes out, scores 14 straight. They scored the second one right before a lengthy weather delay, but they just kind of roll from there. Jermaine Cobbins, 140-plus yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. Cason Woodson finally gets it going through the air. He had a really good night. Really good win for the Yellow Jackets, making me look dumb, and I'll have
Are you sure you wanted to be there?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no,
guys, if Portland could tell any team that plays Springfield from here on out, do not leave Jermaine Cobbins one-on-one. Do not. It's silly. Even if you want to give him 15 yards cushion like they did in the second half, he catches a 5-yard comeback and literally makes the guy miss and outruns everybody down the sideline. He's special. You got to try to blanket him as much as you can. But as you said, Cason Woodson better through the air, but every big play that Springfield needed, short yardage, big plays, Cason Woodson picked up on the ground.
Yep.
So huge night offensively for Springfield to hopefully get some momentum going here in the meat of their schedule.
Yeah, on the Portland side of this game reads like the Rocky story, right? Springfield landed more punches, got one more knockdown, but Portland showed they belonged in the same ring.
Yep.
They absolutely played tremendous against a very, very good Springfield team. And just like I said, just about hit them blow for blow.
Avery Hughes had a pretty good night, as did Keelan Dalton. Portland had the bigger chunk plays they had, but it was a bend but don't break effort by Drew Wilson's defense. They do that yet again. This is what they do. Springfield's a damn good team, guys. They just are. They got station camp next week, and that'll be an interesting one for homecoming. I'll be out there, but really good win for Springfield on the road. So far, they've beaten 2 6A teams, a 5A team. Then they get another 5A team next week.
Well, you said it right there about – so Keelan Dalton and Avery Hughes had the big chunk plays around the edges, but Portland's hammer, so to speak, and Sean Sebring didn't do nothing. They shut him down for most of the night. So
he started off hot, and then after the weather delay, it just kind of Springfield took over from there. BJ Chase on Instagram said after 14-7, every touchdown I believe was 50+ from both teams, which I believe that's correct because I got home and I was watching the last half of the game. So really good win for Springfield. Can't knock the Yellow Jackets, and yes, I will have an apology or two for this game. Station Camp, the team we talked about that has to play Springfield next week, 35-7 win. Game called at halftime. The Bison looked the part, though, guys.
Yeah, I'm ready to see Colton Overby and that Station Camp wide receiver core versus the secondary, the Yellow Jackets. That's going to be a really good matchup next week. Believe that one may end up with a certain designation. Joe, is that official yet, or
who's to say?
Okay.
Yeah. Overbay was 7-9 for 112. Remember, these stats are for half a game. This is halftime. So 7-9 for 112, 2 touchdowns. Colin Gillespie rushed for 101 yards in a half on 12 carries and 2 scores. Will Stevens had 6 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a sack for the Bison in a game that they just dominated.
Apparently, this game was called with 5 minutes left in the second quarter, but I mean, at that point, it's 35-7. There's really not any reason to keep it going with the way the weather was and all that. So,
right.
The Bison move on. Tupelo comes to CPA, leaves town with this 23-7 win. Cam, you and I kind of called this one. Not shocking. We know ball. No, I'm just kidding. But this was another game where, I mean, they weren't. Once this got into a delay, Ingle wasn't going to say, "Hey, Tupelo, come back tomorrow." No, I mean, it's just let's play what we can, and then you guys head home.
Yeah. Owen Cabell, 113 yards receiving, touchdown. It's a shame it did get called, but I'll tip my hat to you guys. I had to stick with my CPA mantra.
I'm interested to see if you're going to do that this year a lot, Scott. With that
well, to be fair for CPA, they have faced 3 really, really good backfields. Doesn't get easier next week.
No,
it does not.
But yeah,
Warren County rolls past Hunter's Lane, 48-6. The Warriors, I believe they're the Pioneers, but they roll. Hunter's Lane still searching for that first win. It'll come. They're in rebuild mode.
Yes.
Westmoreland 36-0 win over Red Bowling Springs. The Eagles get their first win of the year. The Bulldogs still struggling.
Yeah, this is another one that was called in the second quarter. Huge start to the game for the Eagles. Didn't waste no time getting on the scoreboard, and Red Bowling Springs struggling here to start the 2025 season.
Kind of a shocker from the other night, boys. Richland 21-10 win over White House Heritage. We did not see this coming. White House Heritage loses their first game of the year. Richland looking like a team that can compete in 1A, but still a little shocking here.
Yeah, Richland scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to rally from a 10-7 deficit. Xavier Murray had 228 yards passing, but he gave up a 78-yard pick six for Richland, which sealed the game with about 5 minutes left. So mistakes haunting White House Heritage in this game.
Wilson Central, big win over Coffee County. Scott, talk about Chaz Martin.
Oh, well, what can we say about Chaz Martin? He set a school record for rushing with 261 yards. He had 4 rushing touchdowns, all this on 38 carries. Tremendous night for Wilson Central. A tremendous night for Chaz Martin.
Wildcats 3-0 to start the year. Really good start for them. They're building a lot of momentum into that region play where maybe they're a team we start really talking about as a team to keep an eye on in that region.
Wilson Central and Lebanon both now 3-0 in that region. So that could be a fun little story there in Wilson County.
And Gallatin. Gallatin's 3-0. So
yep.
And the favorite in that region, we'll get to them in a little bit. They had an eye-opening experience last night. BGA 42-17 win over Pearl Cone. This game was 35-3 at one point. BGA is just a machine.
Yeah. They aren't often talked about as one of the better teams in the area, but boy, they are. All they do, they rack up points like hitting a slot machine. It's just coin after coin after coin. Caden Marable, another good night, 270 yards passing. The only thing I'd heard, and I'm not really sure, Ethan Kelm went down with injury. He was, I think he had to be taken out of the game on, I don't know whether it was a stretcher or not, but I don't have a word on his condition. We hope that he is doing well. He's a big part of that BGA offense. But a big night for Caden Marable.
which I think we're going to keep saying big night for Kane Marable as long as Kane Marable's at BGA, because that's all he does. Isaac, to answer your question, Wilson Central started the year 3-0 2 seasons ago, and then they lost
Finished 5-5, right?
7 of their last. No, 6. Yeah, 7 of their last. They finished in 2023. They went 4-6. So, JP2. This was a game that was pushed to Saturday. It was 21-21. The Knights get back in the win column with 34-21 win, 2-1 on the year. Scott, you have anything from this game?
Yeah, Isaiah Batten, 17-23 for 238 yards, couple of touchdowns. Marcus Cantrell, 173 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns as JP2 bounces back and gets a good and needed win.
Yeah, still, I was a little shocked to see how they performed last week, but offense got it going this week. They needed this in the big way.
Yeah.
Dixon County comes back to beat Creekwood. This was a weird game, guys. Creekwood led the entire time, and I believe Dixon County scores a couple times late. They get the game-winning touchdown pretty sure fairly late. The Cougars 3-0 to start the year, though. I mean, really impressive, and to do this in a rivalry game.
Yeah, and a much better region alignment for them this year. Dixon County could be a team for us to watch.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Did not see this one coming. Franklin Christian moves to 2-1 on the year with a 15-13 win over Ezel Harding. Not a good showing for the Eagles last night. Falcons get the best of the Eagles. I did not see this one coming.
I did not either. I've not seen anything on the game how this game came about, how this result came about. But yeah, kind of this one was a little surprising.
Grace Christian 17-7 win over Clarksville Academy. GCA moves to 3-0 on the year. And guys, I can't remember the last time GCA was 3-0.
Oh, I can't either. A really good result here for Grace Christian, and another team to watch in that is really playing well right now.
All right, we got highlights, folks. Ravenwood at Greenhill at Ravenwood last night. Chris Scott and I were there. Let's get things going. Raptors opening drive. Maverick chance to Cy Longley, just dragging defenders into the end zone for the game's first points. Oh, why has it got a lag? He's hyped up. We're hyped up. Carlos Guerra, he'll add 3 more onto the board with the 45-yarder here. Kid's got a boot. That's good from 50+ in my opinion. Fumble here leads to the Raptors getting the ball back. They're up 10-0 at this point. And check out this Femi Babalola run. Maybe. I don't know why it's lagging so much. He takes off, and you are not catching him. The Boston College commit, I believe it was a 58-yard run. He takes it to the house. 17-0 Raptors right now. That was the start of what would become a massive third-quarter performance. Maverick chance here. Deep ball to – I can't remember what player that was. Deep ball, and that's 6 more. They're rolling at this point. It's become a rout. Matthew Anderson, he'll come up with the safety here on Cannon Burrows. Cannon recovers in the end zone. Lucky that wasn't a touchdown, but not a good showing. Femi to Cy Longley yet again. Great ball. Easy touchdown. Ravenwood rolling at this point. And then right before the half, Maverick chance. He'll find Cruz Kelly for a 40-yarder here. Or no, this is Femi. Yeah, Femi to Cruz Kelly, sorry. Cruz and Cy Longley each had a pair of touchdowns. This is 40-0 at the half. All Ravenwood. Greenhill, onside kick to start the second half. Cannon Burrows, Luke Parton here. Makes it 40-7. Smart of him to not spike the ball. Carlos Guerra, he'll hit another long field goal here. 43-7 at this point. Greenhill will tack on another touchdown late, but At this point, it's just a formality. Ravenwood with an absolute statement win, and guys, this is the Ravenwood team that we expected to see. They rolled past Green Hill with ease, and this is a statement win for them after last week where they struggled against Lipscomb Academy. I mean, they got taken to overtime.
Yeah, this was a 40-0 game at halftime. That Ravenwood defense was they came out like they were really mad. And I'm talking to some people on the Ravenwood side. They had 2 nail biters in the first 2 games, and they were ready to take it out on somebody. Green Hill just happened to be the next stop on the train tracks. Tremendous game out of the defense there. Matt Anderson had 11 tackles and 2 sacks in this game.
He's a dog.
He is absolutely, and affected. Was constantly disrupting the Green Hill offense.
Yeah. For Green Hill, I mean, it's hard because I mean everybody wanted them to play a tougher schedule, and they definitely are. I mean, Centennial next week is no easy task, but they've played a brutal schedule to start the year. They started the year off with that win over Beach that was really impressive, but the last 2 weeks they played arguably the 2 best teams in Williamson County. Page looks the part. Ravenwood really looks the part. This is the Ravenwood team, like I said, we've been waiting on. They've had their struggles, but they finally put a full game together. They put a full half together. They didn't need a full game. But they have just so many weapons. And when Maverick Chances, he's back healthy now. He looked really good. Femi, he looked really good. He can run the ball, folks. Like, he is not just a passing quarterback. Their defense looks stout. This team, they're nasty. And it's going to be interesting to watch them going forward. They got CPA here in a couple weeks, but they should roll through their next 2 games and leading into that CPA game. So really impressed by the Raptors last night.
I'm going to tell you, Joe, the year I was gone, last year when I was gone, I remember Femi from 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then seeing him last night, he has put some mass on.
He's grown.
He runs deceptively smooth.
Yep.
But he is absolutely a gazelle. That shocked me when he showed that what he's added to his game, being able to run. Boston College is going to get a dude.
Yep.
Yeah, and Joe, you kind of hinted at it a little bit, but Coach Crouch knew that this was a possibility, scheduling this early on in the season. And the fact of the matter is, this is a game that Green Hill can grow from.
Yep.
And that's what they want. They wanted to see the best of the best early, so that way they can work and prepare to get better, to face the best of the best in the postseason. So it's part of the process for Green Hill, unfortunately.
Montgomery Central gets their first win of the year, 26-9 win over Harpeth. Battle of Indians, MC gets the win.
Yeah, you just can't turn the ball over 5 times, which is what happened with Harpeth. Good defensive game for Montgomery Central, and unfortunately Harpeth paid for it.
Fairview, 40 pieces, Hickman County, the Yellow Jackets. Good weekend for teams called the Yellow Jackets. They moved to 2-1 on the year with ease for the most part, fellas.
Yeah, and this is a Fairview team that seems to have found their offensive firepower again. Their only loss, a 48-22 loss to a much bigger Centennial team. So Coach Hughes has this Yellow Jacket team heading in the right direction again.
Well, the return of Jackson McCoy has been big for their offense. He had a really good night, 13 of 19 for 139, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them to John Barrick, who also had a 90-yard kickoff return. So the Jackets offense, Chris Hughes is an offensive genius. They're going to put up points whenever they can, but their defense, and Will Frank on their defensive side really showed up in this game. 10 tackles and a sack, caused a fumble. This Fairview team is they shouldn't be sneaky, but they are. We don't talk about them enough.
Great. Oh, hold on. Go back. Rockvale, 30-6 win over Laverne. The Rockets get their first win of the year. This is a game that started, got pushed to yesterday, and the Rockets just kind of rolled in the Saturday afternoon game.
Yeah, I really don't have anything on this other than that Coach Kuntz gets his first win as a Rutherford County head coach.
Arguably the best game of the weekend. Liberty Creek Sycamore, double overtime win for the Wolves. The War Eagles. This is a game I almost went to yesterday, but I kind of wish I had. Liberty Creek, now 2 of the 3 weeks they played in overtime matchups. They come out on top in this one for their first win of the year, though. 28-27 win over a Sycamore team that bounced back really well from last week's loss to Greenbrier. But, man, double overtime Saturday afternoon games. The fans here in Pleasant View, they got treated to a good one yesterday.
Yeah, you chose poorly.
I know. I went logistics wise because I went to the game where I knew I was going to be in that town in the afternoon. So
yeah, no, I'm not faulting you. I'm just saying you chose wrong.
Yeah, it is what it is. Could have gone to it, but I didn't. Good win for the Wolves. Livingston Academy 20-17 win over Smith County. Kind of shocked. I think we all a lot of us picked Smith County, but the Wildcats.
The tale of 2 days, essentially. This one was postponed Friday night at halftime, and the second half was started back on Saturday. Smith County led 17-6 at halftime, and then they come back on Saturday, and Livingston Academy is able to outscore them 14-0 to pull out a win. This Livingston Academy team is 3-0 for the first time in a very long time. If you're in Hogeye country, you're very, very excited about the growth with Coach Qualls up there in Livingston Academy, and that's a team that could be playing for a playoff spot here in a few weeks.
Yep.
Mount Juliet drops one to Friendship Christian. Kind of shocked by how lopsided this one was, boys. 28-3 win for the Commanders. They moved to 3-0. Mount Juliet 0-3 for the first time since 2015.
Yeah, it was kind of what I expected it to be for most of the game. It was Friendship had scored to make it 14-3. I think it was early in the fourth quarter. Back-to-back pick sixes for Mount Juliet makes this one 28-3, and that's all she wrote. Mount Juliet is just not good enough on offense right now to make those type of mistakes and give the other team points. So huge win for Coach McNeil, win number 300. But yeah, this Friendship Christian team 3-0 to start the year, and I think they're pretty clearly the number two D2 1A team in our area.
They might be the number 2 1A team, D2 1A team in the state. Blake Waldorf fitting right in. The Commanders look like the real deal. Coach McNeil's got himself a squad.
Yeah, Waldorf, you said he had 186 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. As Cam said, the 2 back-to-back pick sixes were huge in a game. But, guys, let's look at this Mount Juliet team because I know this is a team that lost so much off of their roster last year, but this is a Mount Juliet team that in 3 games has not scored a touchdown. In fact, I think they only have five points in 3 games.
Yeah. I mean, if you're saying offensively, 5.
And I will say the young man, I don't know his name right now at the moment, but the young man that was slated to be their starting quarterback broke his leg in the preseason scrimmage. He is due to be back at some point here in the next couple of weeks. So hopefully Mount Juliet's offense will see a little bit of an uptick here.
Yeah.
Nashville Christian rolls past DCA 45-13. Storyline in this one, though, TJ Ward 5 touchdowns. Jared Curtis leaves at the half with what appeared to be maybe an ankle injury.
Yeah, it's kind of what it looked like. Come out in the second half with no shoulder pads on, but he was cutting up, cracking jokes with his teammates on the sideline. So it definitely appears to be a precautionary thing. But yeah, TJ Ward, 1 touchdown on Friday night and 4 on Saturday night. And Nashville Christian is they're as good as we tried to tell everybody.
Coming along. If Jared was to miss any time this upcoming stretch, not a bad time.
Yeah, and I can tell you from watching a little bit of that one, Tate Mathis, sophomore backup for Nashville Christian, has an absolute cannon as well. So he can rip it down the field as well. So Nashville Christian is not going to drop off.
Bit of a shocker here. Shelbyville 15-14 win over Franklin. The Admirals having some offensive struggles here through the first couple weeks.
Yeah, that they did graduate their big bell cow back. Only one of their offensive starters, I think, returned. So, it's just tough for the Admirals right now. And Shelbyville's not a bad team at 1-2.
No. Siegel 18-15 win over Stewart's Creek. Shocker again. We had a lot of those this week, guys. There's a lot of results that make you turn your head and go, "What the hell happens?"
It was like Mother Nature, just kind of affected everything. It was a full moon. It was, I don't know what it was, but Brian Albea, 37 yards. 37 attempts, 145 yards rushing, and a touchdown for Siegel. Nathan Hand, 17 tackles. Delvian Ewing, 15 tackles. The game, but it came down to a Siegel 28-yard field goal as time expired for I'm going to try this. Abimelech Tapia. As time expired. Jamarcus Brown, who'd had 2 monster games, still put up 150 yards rushing on 22 carries, but obviously just not enough to overcome what Siegel was bringing.
Nolensville rolls past Overton 20-0. Good win for the Knights. They moved to 2-1 on the year. Overton defensively playing well, but offensively they got figured out.
Yeah, that's kind of what we expected out of Overton. We saw that in their scrimmages against Pearl and a couple other opponents. We knew they would be pretty tough on the defense side of the ball, but they have to find some offense.
Last batch of highlights, fellas. Let's go Brentwood and Summit yesterday, the game I went to before Ravenwood and Green Hill. Brentwood rocking those beautiful baby blue jerseys. Defensively, this is the story of the first quarter. Both teams never really get much going on the offensive side of the ball with great defense. But once Brentwood got going, they never stopped because of Parker Emerson. He'll take this to the house for the touchdown midway through the early in the second quarter. And late before the half, Gavin Strang, he's going to roll out, find Parker in the back of the end zone, who gets his foot in for the touchdown. Brentwood leads 14-0 at the half. Parker Emerson again, third touchdown of the day. Takes a little jet sweep here, takes to the house with ease. Brentwood's rolling at this point, but really nice pick here by Summit. This gets them into their best starting field position of the day. He got up there, man. I mean, I was like, dang, all right, I wish I was on the other side. Summit, they take advantage, punching it in here. But that's about all the success that the Spartans would have on the day. Brentwood, guess who? Parker Emerson. He's going to rise up over a defender, takes it in. That's touchdown number 4 on the day. And then to close out the game, just kind of a bully drive from Brentwood leads to this touchdown by Zachary Maples. He'll punish his way inside, and that's all she wrote. Brentwood moves to 2-1 on the year, and they do it in very impressive fashion.
Yeah, Brentwood, good game for them as we start to roll into what should be. I'm not sure when their first region game. This was their first region game. Never mind. Scott will stop talking now.
No, it's this Brentwood team, when J.C. White transferred out just a couple of weeks before the season started, a lot of people was concerned that they could potentially fall out of that 2 spot there in that region, or top 2 in that region. But I think this game and what we've seen so far from the Bruins, I think they are pretty firmly in conversation there for the top half of that region.
Yeah, I mean, it's Ravenwood clear at the top for me after watching these teams yesterday, but Brentwood, I think they are the 2. Ravenwood is just kind of different. Brentwood, once they get that offense going, though, they looked good. So good win for the Bruins, bouncing back from that BA loss. When your only loss is to Brentwood Academy, I'm not going to bash you too much. Antioch rolls past West Creek. The Bears moved to 3-0, and they're rolling right now, boys.
They're rolling, and Scott, I'm sure you have them, but Andre Adams is working himself towards being in the Mr. Football conversation.
Yeah. The stat line I have: Andre Adams, 14 of 21, 229, 4 touchdowns, 5 for 61 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Kobe Benton with 4 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Brandon Galloway, 3 receptions and a touchdown. Caleb Doss, 13 tackles, and Fred Ntumba, 12 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. Antioch is bringing defense along with their offense. This team is dangerous.
Hot take: if they beat Centennial here in a couple weeks, they go unbeaten this year in the regular season. Well, no, scratch that. They play FRA. That one's another toss-up game. So, but the Bears, they're legit. I mean, Andre Adams, I agree with Cam. He's working his way into Mr. Football talk, as he should. We get another year of him, guys. Couple games that didn't end up happening. Baylor Brentwood Academy was called. Peyton Manning was in attendance for this one. His son he's an 8th grader at Baylor. This was a good one had it gone down. Unfortunately, it just didn't weather. Cane Rouge Maplewood, also another one that was called. Centennial Gallatin, what I expected to be an offensive shootout. This one was called a no contest. I believe Centennial was up 3-0 early on, but Mother Nature just was not kind to us on Friday night. Columbia Independence, this one was also called. Just, again, East Nashville, Hillsboro never really got going underway. Glencliff, Spring Hill, Henry County Beach. This one's weird. We're getting mixed comments on this. If you know the actual result, let us know, because we're hearing no contest. Freaking hearing Beach won. What? I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard anything?
I've not heard anything. I was going to look and see how TSSAA classified it, but
well, the way if that is true and Beach led 20-14 in the fourth quarter, this would be a completed game. Henry County doesn't have a chance to get a no contest here. If it was 20-14 at halftime or before halftime, then there's a no contest that could be ruled.
I'm hearing a lot of it's a no contest by multiple people.
Yeah, so TSSAA has it has Beach only at 1-1. So I would say that as of right now, until we hear different from TSSAA, it's a no contest.
It's also the coaches have to agree on it, Cam. It's not just so. If Henry County said, "Hey, we don't agree to this," no contest. Shouldn't be it. Yeah, so this is the game I was going to go to after we found out our game got postponed to Saturday, but then they just called it. So unfortunate, really good game. Page, they get a week off to prepare for Brentwood. So I actually saw some of the Page kids yesterday at the Brentwood game doing Willis County. Lost in Stratford. This one also didn't go down. And this one will be resumed Monday. Stewart County trailing Cheatham County 12-8. Monday at 7 o'clock. Or they did agree. Okay. So if they did agree, I mean, that's a classy move by Beach to not try and
they both those programs have a long history with each other, so it's not a surprise if both teams did agree for a no contest.
Yeah, especially since it's not a region game, right?
Yeah. Had this happened last year, I think they would have moved it to Saturday. So
for sure.
All right, fellas. Good show today. We'll have Chris back next week. We just couldn't do this yesterday because we just didn't have enough games played. So,
yeah,
Mother Nature got the best of us. You guys got anything else? Cam, Titans start today. How you feeling?
It's Cam Ward time, baby. I'm ready to see him be able to get in a rhythm. That's what people don't understand. When you only get 2 drives in preseason games, you can't really get into a rhythm. And Cam is definitely a rhythm style quarterback. So I'm excited to see him against a really tough Denver defense today.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll get into the rhythm against them. But Scott, your final word?
My final word is I'm going to sit down, watch the Titans, see if I can't get a nap in. It was just it was a tough weekend for teams out there, coaching staffs, but you got to give it up to the athletic directors and these SIDs and all those people that made 2 games happen in what was supposed to be a 1 game. Having to put those together. So those teams that did agree to come back and play each other, kudos to you, whether you won or lost. You guys played out the string, and for that, as somebody who covers high school football, I'm appreciative.
Yeah, and I've seen multiple dozens of the games that were moved to Saturday had free admission.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
thought that was a great move by all those programs to do that. Also, shout out to the officials that set through hours of delays. That didn't change the amount of money that they got paid.
Yeah. Shout out to the Ravenwood student section. They showed out in a big way last night. Really good turnout. Yeah, we'll be back Wednesday. Our schedule will announce the spotlight game Friday, even though Cam may have spoiled it a little bit already. You big dumb idiot. No, just kidding. East Nashville Beach. Chris, Scott, and I will be there Thursday night back at Shackle Island. Looking forward to that tailgate. But yeah, no, really good week 3 once we got actual games in. Everybody enjoy the first Sunday of the NFL season, and we will see you guys back Wednesday night, 7:00 sharp. So for myself, Scott, Cam, Isaac, Connor, Chris, Tyson, KJ, everybody with 615 Preps, stay safe out there, everybody, and good luck on week 1 of the NFL season, folks.